What makes you say today that you're doing a good job?
I have always been under pressure. I
Yes.
have always learned to manage pressure. What makes us do good work is that we place humans at the center of the work. All work is about human relationships. Here you are at Maison Lézard, a wine trading company that mainly sells in France in mass distribution and has a small share in exports.
Sandrine, how long have you been working here?
It's been 5 years. It was 5 years in March. I've been working in wine for 30 years because I started in '96 as an accounting assistant on a qualification contract, so in apprenticeship. I first switched to the commercial side and then logistics.
What's a day like when managing supply and IT in a company of...
It can be hectic. We can jump from one thing to another in 5 minutes.
What are the most stressful moments then when managing supply?
The most stressful moments are when customs calls you and says, well, there's a problem. To put it simply, I had a case where a bond almost failed. So the bond is what allows the warehouse to operate, what allows shipping. We prioritize, well, if there's a truck that's blocked and we need to unblock an EAD, well, we'll do that first. If there's no relative urgency, we'll prioritize one task over another. I've always learned to manage pressure. At Maison Lézard, I'm quite autonomous in my role. I manage my position completely from A to Z. Behind it, I follow a framework. Actually, my work has seasonality related to customs. And then the projects, when they are presented to me, I manage them from A to Z and I lead them.
We met about the PMP.
The PMP is the weighted average price.
That is to say, over time, the price evolves based on purchases. It can be €2 one day and €2.05, €2.010, depending on purchases throughout its life and the costs that make it up, like production, transport, expenses related to the purchase of wines or dry materials. We needed to identify the initial problem that was causing this drift in the weighted average price. So I asked Piston, who identified an issue I hadn't initially recognized, which is a transfer of ownership between our property and the trading. So logistics would enter the sales order at 0 and accounting would invoice with a price. After that, the sales invoice would only come much later and sometimes not in the same month. So it created a breakpoint in PMP and it set it to 0 instead of inserting a coherent cost price. As a result, it calculated profit margins at 100%, which were incorrect. Before we had Piston, this problem hadn't been identified, maybe due to a lack of time for analysis. I did an analysis last year that took me 3 days. With Piston, it took me 10 minutes. So I asked Piston, I said, can you recalculate the average unit cost of such and such item for me? And that's when it told me there's a problem with this item. It tells me the accounting invoice comes in 40 days later than the actual delivery. Piston, in fact, evolves based on what I tell it. For example, for the story of the properties, I told it that we had properties, that we did custom work, that we did inter-site work. It's a super assistant because artificial intelligence feeds on what we teach it. So as a result, yes, the more you teach it, the more it will learn and the more it will feed or support your conversations. Piston is a help, saying it can partially replace humans in certain things. It will delve deeper. It might have more knowledge. Behind it, it's an encyclopedia, you know.
What makes you say today that you are doing a good job?
What makes us do good work is that we place the human at the center of the work.
What did Piston bring you, if you had one word to describe it?
One word: companion.